We're here with Stephen Jamison and Ted Schulz.
So tell me, you're 88 years of age.
I'm 88 and I'll be 89 in June, yeah.
So if you had to go back and think about, you know, all the joys of your life, the things that you have as the fondest memories.
Oh, yes. Well, my wife's a very fond memory.
I could understand that
I,
looking at the photos that were online.
Yeah, she,
How long were you married?
well, 54 years, and but she turned me down the first time I asked her to marry me. In fact, I had to work at that, believe it or not. I mean, that she didn't jump at me, but that's the way it was. Well, she felt that her folks wouldn't approve of our marriage, and as my folks did not approve of my marriage.
She was Japanese American?
Yes.
And was it that difference that was keeping her back?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yes. Of course, this was 54 years ago.
Right.
She had just graduated from Cal, as had I, and she was on her first job, and I was teaching in San Francisco. That was my first job. And then shortly after that, I got called back into the Army and was stationed in Des Moines, Iowa, as a station psychologist at the Armed Forces Examining Station there. And then she agreed to, she came out to Iowa. And when she decided to come out to Iowa, I think that she just already decided she would marry me then.
Just as long as you wouldn't spend the rest of your lives in Iowa.
Well, we had a nice life in Iowa.
Well, how long were you there?
Well, I guess I was there 3 years, and we were married for about 2 of those years. And then I went to, I took the Queen's Shilling and stayed in the Army. I was promoted to captain, and then next thing I was sent to Korea. And of course the war was over then, but I still went to Korea. Mary went back to San Francisco, and back to pharmacy. She did not have an Iowa pharmacy license. She only had a California pharmacy license, so she couldn't practice pharmacy anywhere else. So that was when I was finally reassigned to San Rafael, or to San Francisco. Then she went back to work, and she worked at the Kaiser Pharmacy here, and she was a very able person, and wound up as chief of the pharmacy.
Oh, really? How long was she at Kaiser San Rafael?
Oh, maybe 20 years? I don't know. A long time. She stayed on at Kaiser San Rafael after I retired from the Army. That was one of the reasons I retired, is that, well, I don't know if that was one of the reasons I retired. Well, no, she didn't. I was assigned to the Presidio of Monterey, and she didn't want to move there, and it would have meant giving up her job, taking the children out of school, so we stayed, so I retired, and she became, say, chief of the pharmacy at Kaiser. She was part of the Asian mafia there.
Oh, really?
Well, there were a lot of Asian pharmacists, so I call that the Asian mafia.
So when did she finally retire from Kaiser Center?
Oh.
Do you remember what year that was?
No, probably late 69, 70.
Wow. Been there a long time.
Yes. And then we bought a summer house in Arizona. So we used to spend half our life in Arizona, in Flagstaff, which is in the mountains of Arizona, the cool mountains of Arizona.
Right above Oak Creek Canyon and Sedona and all of
Yes,
that.
yes. Further
It's beautiful. I love Flagstaff.
higher. It's a lovely city, and we lived in a nice community there. And we took up golf there. No, actually, I guess we played golf already, but it was a golfing community, so she played golf almost every day. I wasn't that keen on golf, but I had a little black dog, my son's little black dog, Riley, and I used to walk Riley every day, and we lived near a pond, or a lake really, and we'd walk down to the lake and walk around the lake and then walk back up home again. That was a good life.
So whatever happened to your vacation home in Flagstaff?
Oh, well, when Mary died, I sold it.
Okay.
I knew I wasn't going to go back there alone, so, and we sold it, I won't say at the height of the market, but it was a pretty good time to sell, and so that's what I did with it. That's why there's so many books piled around this house. When we sold the house, my daughter-in-law closed it out for us. We sold it sort of by long distance, because I had expected, we had come out here for Mary's medical appointment, and then we decided we wouldn't go back to Arizona, so we stayed. So it was an unexpected move out here. But my daughter-in-law collected all my books and many of my clothes, and we sent that out here, and then everything else we sold. So somebody else lives there now. I never meet the man who bought the house. That was done by the real estate people.
I saw photos that Barry had posted of your wife's memorial service.
Oh yes, we buried.
I saw the spreading of the ashes on
Yes,
a golf course.
well, that was the hole where she hit a hole in one.
Oh my God.
And so for that reason, we thought that would be a nice thing to do. So we spread the ashes, half the ashes actually, on that hole, and then we put half in the backyard here.
Wonderful.
Yeah, that was. We were not religious. We are not religious people, although we were married in a Unitarian church, and I guess if people ask my religion, I say Unitarian. But I'm not a Christian, and Unitarians do not necessarily. We've gone to the Unitarian church here a couple of times, but I know you're attracted primarily, I think, or I am at least, to the minister, and the minister was a good man. We just didn't go very often. That was all.
Right. Well, there's a woman there now. The minister, the one up on the hill here.
Yes, yes. Oh, is there a woman there?
Yeah, there's a woman there now.
My daughter was married in the Unitarian church by a woman.
Yeah.
She was a co-pastor. Yeah, I don't remember her name. I remember the man who married us, though, was Reverend Phillips in Des Moines, Iowa. We were married there.
And did your wife's parents attend the wedding?
None of our parents attended the wedding. So we were married there, and then we came out.
And so what happened to your wife's parents and your parents in terms of accepting your marriage?
Oh, well.
How long did it take them?
My parents visited us in Des Moines, Iowa. No, in Indianapolis. Oh, maybe 3 years later or so. We had a child, then we had our son, or a daughter then, and they visited us when we had a daughter. And Mary's mother, I think, was always in favor of not opposed to our marriage. She had a very bad marriage. Her husband was not a good man. He was an alcoholic, among other things. And so in a sense, I had a secret ally in Mary's mother.
Great stories. Thank you so much for sharing them
Well,
with me.